Hello guys, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you very much for stopping by. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please kindly do so. This will really mean a lot to me. And to my returning subscriber, thank you very much. You guys are the best. In this tutorial, we'll be learning how to make that beautiful organza top with an exaggerated sleeve you just viewed right now. And the materials we'll be needing for this is your organza fabric. This is about 3 yards of fabric. Okay, and you need your tape, curve rule, pattern master, tracing wheel, and your pencil. You know I love working with pencil. So you can see that I fold my paper. Okay, so that neckline, the neckline is sort of asymmetric because you can see that one part of the neckline is like extending down to the shoulder, and that is the reason why I'm folding my paper on asymmetric. Okay, yeah, so let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is to come down by 1 inch from the edge of my paper. And the measurements we'll be needing is your shoulder measurement, your bust circumference, hip circumference. Okay, and so the first thing I do was to come down by 1 inch from the edge of my paper. You can see that here is unfold. Okay, so and I'm using 3 inches width and 3 inches depth for my neckline. So the shoulder measurement I'm working with is 8 inches. I'm going to mark 8 inches. Then from this point, I'm coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slant. Okay, so from this point, I'm going to mark my chest line. So you are going to get your chest line by dividing your bust circumference by 6 plus 1.5. okay, so the bust circumference I'm working with is 41 divided by 6. I have 6.8, then plus 1.5, I have 8.3. so I'm going to mark 8.3 from this point downward. Okay, so I'm just going to measure the waistline. The waistline I'm working with is 16 inches. Then the hip line, so the length of this top is going to be 25 inches. Okay, I'm just marking 25 inches like so. So on my chest line, whatever I have on my shoulder line, I'm just going to bring it down so that I can connect my chest line. Okay, so to connect my armhole, I'm simply going to get the angle 45 of this line. If you've watched my tutorial on how to draft a basic for this, you will understand much better. I'm getting half of my armhole. I'm coming in by ½ inches. Then at this point, I'm just going to go out by ½ inch. Then I'm going to connect it with my curve rule. I believe that you guys already know how to do this, but I'm doing it just for clarity's sake. So I'm just going to come in by 0.75 to connect my neck curve. So on the bust line, I'm just going to mark half of my bust circumference divided by 4. I have 10.25, then plus 1 inch is allowance and 1 inch seam allowance. Okay, you can see this has already taken all my paper. So I'm adding 1 inch is allowance because this top is going to be a free top. It's not going to have a zipper allowance. Okay, so I'm just going to mark the same measurements on the waist and at the hip also. After that, I'm just going to get my tracing wheel. I will trace this so that everything I marked here will show on the other side of the line. So I'll go ahead and trace this. So after tracing it, I'm just going to use my pencil to retrace it. Okay, so for the asymmetric top, so you can notice at the neckline of that top that one side is extended to the shoulder. Okay, so I'm just going to mark 1.5 inch away from the neckline, and I will connect it back to my neckline. Okay, so this is how we are simply going to do this. So after that, I'm going to add ½ inch seam allowance all round. So I have cut out with the material. Okay, I've used the pattern we drafted to cut the material. So it's 2 pieces for both the front and the back. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out the facing for it. So guys, I've gone ahead to use the facing I cut to turn this. Can you see how beautiful it's looking? So the next thing I'm going to do is to join it at the shoulder and also at the side. So after that, we are going to construct our exaggerated sleeve. So this is what I'm going to use for the sleeve. So it's 53 inches width and the length is 28 inches. Okay, so this is what we are going to be using to make the sleeve. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to fold it by 5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to fold it by 5 inches. I'm going to press it so that it can stay. So you can see that I have ironed it, and what I do was that I marked 0.75 inch. Okay, so this will serve as the casing where the elastic is going to pass through. So I'm just going to go to my sewing machine and sew this line. Okay, so can you see that I have gone to my sewing machine to sew it just like I told you guys. I've sewn the 0.5 inches seam allowance I marked out from this folded part. So what I'm going to do is to open it up like this. So when I open it up, I'm just going to make it rest. Okay, you can make it rest on one side. You can make it rest on either side, whether here or here. Okay, so I'm just going to go to my sewing machine. So I'm going to sew at the tip. Okay, I will sew it down. So that way we have made our elastic casing on this sleeve. Can you see that? So I'll go and sew it so that it can lay flat. So I'll do that and I'll be back to show you guys what next. So guys, can you see how it looks after sewing it down? Can you see it? So we have automatically created the casing. So this is the elastic I'm going to fix in it. This is just 8 inches. So I'm just going to fix it here. Okay, so I'm just going to fix it on the casing we just made together. So after fixing it, what I'm going to do is to gather here. So I'm going to gather it in such a way that it's going to rhyme with the sleeve arm, with the blouse armhole. Okay, so I will just gather it, then I will be back to show you guys. So can you see how it's looking already? So I'm just going to go and secure this elastic at both ends so that it won't. So guys, can you see how beautiful this is looking already? So I decided to pleat it instead of gathering it. So what I'm going to do now is to go and hold it by 1 inch at the seam. Then after that, I'm going to join it at the sleeve. So I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the other part of the sleeve. And yes, we have our beautiful sleeve. Alright guys, I will do this and I will show you guys the final outcome.